Hello Kindred Longevity Lifestyle Designers, this is Gavin here with secretsoflongevity.com. I'm going to be making 3 coffee recipes in one. You are probably familiar with my recent love of coffee. It's something I'm very much enjoying, keeping it within reason, 2 tops 3 cups a day, sometimes even 1 to 2 cups a day. And that's very minimal. That's giving you a good dose of minerals and magnesium and all the wonderful things coffee has to offer without making you so addicted that it's a constant craving for it. So we've got a dark roast that I just got yesterday, so it's still very fresh. And you've seen me use the AeroPress before. We're doing the reverse method for this. And I'll be talking about each individual recipe, which you can do on its own, but I'm combining them all into one just because it's such an awesome combo. And it's very easy. It makes the drink probably more usable for some people, because some people do have the bad effects from the caffeine. It just doesn't work for everyone. That's just simply the fact of coffee. We've got our water coming up to a boil. I'm going to turn that off. And the additions of a few things actually make it much more subtle in terms of its stimulatory effects, which some people get jittery from. They can't seem to handle it. So it's very important that if that is the case, but you like coffee, that you address that in some way. So if you haven't yet seen my video on the benefits of coffee, the health benefits, the reason why I actually changed my opinion of it, check out this link here, and you can learn more about all the minerals and vitamins and nutrition actually found in coffee, but also its medicinal effects, its long-term effects, its effects on the hormone system, which is probably one of the primary reasons I'm interested in consuming it. It helps pull out bad estrogens from the body and increases the production of progesterone, which is great for men and women. And it also has the effect of helping increase the absorption of any herbs you take with it. So we're going to actually be putting some ho shou in it today. And essentially the 3 recipes that I'm brewing in one is a traditional egg coffee where you add an egg yolk. You could add the whole egg, but I'm just doing the yolk to the drink. That's a bit of an interesting one. It's done all over the world, so there's no one specific recipe I'm following. It's just adding that in with everything else we're putting in here. A lot of sort of Italian coffee drinks, when they get more elaborate and sort of more of a dessert type coffee, you'll have egg yolk in that because it just gives it a certain consistency and makes it more enjoyable in that way. Then we're adding both maple syrup and cacao, which would make it a cobalamin tonic, which is something I've done on its own, just doing a little bit of cacao in that to add it to black coffee or black espresso. And it has the effect of, again, neutralizing that slight edge of jitteriness it gives some people. It's supposed to increase your body's ability to absorb and use vitamin B12. I don't know if that's something to do with the minerals in it or what. I heard some claim about B12 being contained in that, even though B12 is not found in any of those 3 ingredients, so that's a bit ridiculous. Then the last one we're going to be doing is bulletproof coffee, which we have some butter already added to this. Now, bulletproof coffee is around the official recipe by the guy who titled it that, is 2 tablespoons of butter per cup of coffee, as well as 1 tablespoon of coconut oil or MCT oil. That's medium chain triglycerides. I tried that one time, the full recipe of 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. It was too much. It was like drinking liquid oil. It was kind of gross. It's a wonderful effect the fats have, but that's just not something I enjoyed, so I've scaled it down to 1 tablespoon of butter, or maybe 1.5, and I don't like the coconut oil in it at all. It just did not sit well with me. Funny thing is that MCT oil seemed like a bit of a, I don't want to call it a scam. It's not a scam. It's just a bit of a useless product, if I can say that, because coconut oil is generally between half to 60% MCT oil anyways. So it's just making an extract of coconut oil to take out the other saturated fats, which seems kind of pointless to me. I haven't done any great amount of research on it, so I'm not making that conclusive statement. That's just my thoughts on it at a first glance. So this is all mixed up. We are just going to add a bit more water to get that bit of coffee that's on the stir stick here. If you're not familiar with the AeroPress, it's a great way to make espresso. It uses a very simple fine filter. You could cut out your own from unbleached paper. Unfortunately, this is bleached because it's so white. I've yet to get to the point of being that fiddly because, you know, it's just a little piece of paper. It's not putting any drastic amount of chemicals in there. And ideally this would be glass, but, you know, the company just has this at the moment, and it makes such great coffee that it's worth it, in my opinion. It's not the same as a French press. On one of my videos I had someone say, well, the French press is better or something, but no, you can't do a fine grind coffee in a French press. A French press is a very coarse grind. So this does the equivalent of an espresso because it does it under pressure. The first step is, of course, making the espresso, which you do by simply plunging it, and that's the pressure that you would have in a normal espresso maker. Another comment was about, why am I putting so much weight on it? It should just go down just by your hand like that. And yeah, that can work if you don't have such a fine grind. I do the finest grind possible at my local coffee bean procurement place. And because it's so fine, it does need more weight to press it through. So especially with that final push with the air to push through the grounds, needs quite a bit of pressure. And this is a sturdy cup, so I can push that hard. On smaller cups I wouldn't do that. And just let it finish dripping in there. With the butter, the first step is to add a bit of hot water. Measure out the exact amount that I use in a cup. So I just dump the rest of the hot water that I boiled from earlier into the container. The butter's already melting, almost completely melted. Then in a separate bowl, we're going to separate the yolk. Actually, we'll do the yolk last because we don't want it to cook and that water's still hot. So we're just going to separate the yolk from the white in a moment there. Then it's very simply a matter of adding a bit of maple syrup. I really don't like to add so much that you taste sweetness. I just like it to have a soft edge which balances out the bitterness of the coffee with the sweetness. It's really not super sugary at all. Adding 1 to 2 teaspoons of maple syrup, and that would be it. We add, of course, the cacao powder. That's about a teaspoon, maybe a little more. Add a tiny touch more as well. Don't want it to be, again, very strong or dominant in any one flavor. I mean, the coffee is going to be the main flavor, but all these other things give it a nice rounded out quality that is quite wonderful. We're also going to add the hou, which gives a bit more of a yin stabilization to the fairly qi stimulatory effects of coffee. It's about a half teaspoon, standard dose for high purine herbs. You can get, you know, high purine herbs as hou, and you have the other herbs, cacao powder, and even coconut oil if you want to use coconut oil instead of butter, at the links below. One thing to say, I mentioned about the butter, is ideally, in the best world scenario, we'd have raw grass-fed butter from Guernsey cows, Jersey cows, etc. This is raw, grass-fed, but it's not raw. You can't seem to get that at the moment. But companies like Kerrygold have pasteurized grass-fed butter. There's a lot of other ones. You can kind of tell if it's grass-fed by how yellow in color it is. Ideally, you want butter that color of yellow. That's the best case scenario. And if you can get it raw, that's even better. Next, we're going to add the egg yolk, and again, same thing goes with this. You want pastured eggs for that nice, rich orange yolk color. And I no, I did not break the yolk. I thought I just did. You just simply bounce it back and forth to separate the whites there. You could add the whites to the drink, but it would just become so frothy it might be unpalatable. But there are recipes that call for the egg whites, which gives it a really nice foamy head, which is kind of like the froth milk effect. Simply break off the little gooey bits. So there you have it. You have your one yolk. And drop that in. You can drink this down just like this. Or you could fry that up and make use of it in other ways. We just don't want to waste that perfectly good, easily digestible protein. Then we add the coffee. It makes about 1.5 cups. Well, this is a very large mug, so it's going to fit it all, hopefully. We're at, yep, exactly 1.5 cups. Bring over the blender. You don't need a blend tech for this, actually. You could get away with even like a hand blender. Any kind of blender will do this job. There's nothing too coarse in there. got the butter thoroughly mixed in, it doesn't separate like and become an oily thing on the top because it's been blended. I mean, if you left it for long enough, it might start to bead at the top, but it is really wonderful stuff. You can hear it pouring in, how thick it sounds. It becomes almost like a meal, so turn your coffee into a meal. This is the coffee threesome. 3 different traditional recipes, somewhat traditional. I guess maybe the Kabbalah tonic's a little newer. And that is superb. It's something that I look forward to every day, getting to drink 1 or 2 of these. And I hope you can enjoy it the same. However you like your coffee. This is just one alternative. You could pick one of those, combine 2, combine all 3. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you ever added, this will be the question is, have you ever added egg to your coffee? There's a lot of traditional ways that eggs have been used to brew coffee, and also add it after the fact. And I haven't tried the actual brewing method where you break an egg and even add the shells to coffee beans and you boil them for a long time. Hesitant to try it just because it's not the best thing to actually boil coffee beans or the roasted beans, to actually heat them past that temperature, because it makes them a lot more acidic apparently, or pulls out certain acids that bind to minerals and things. And but I quite like the egg yolk added after the fact. It has quite a rich flavor. So with that, check out those links below. Like, favorite, and share this video if you feel so inclined. And with that, take care and embrace life without limits.